So our dashboard can expose government waste and track DOGE contracts in real time. But there's a problem. It is stuck on our computer and we need to get it out there. So today we deploy it worldwide with military-grade security. So you can share it with journalists, investors, or even tweet it at Elon. In order for us to deploy it freely, we could use some hosting services like Heroku or Render or even PythonAnywhere. Check out my previous videos which has very detailed discussion on hosting services. Now, to look at a deployment on Heroku, it's pretty much straightforward. There are a few things you have to set up ahead of time. You need to have a Heroku account. Free tier should work just fine. You can sign up easily. You also need to install Heroku CLI, that's command line interface. You can download that online once it's downloaded and installed, and it's always good to have Git installed on your computer in the first place so that you keep track of all the changes to your environment or local environment in this case. Now, the next thing you need to do, the first step per se, is to prepare your files. So you need to create files in your project folder, like the proc file, without an extension, and make sure that the P is initially capitalized. You insert the line of code. G-Unicorn should give you your server, should point to your server. Again, G-Unicorn, we talked about it in our previous video. Check it out. Make sure you do that. And create a requirements.txt or text file. You can do that easily, automatically by pip freeze, pointing to your requirements. But if you have too many libraries and you need just your basic ones, then go ahead and just type it manually in your requirements.txt file. So again, the libraries you need: dash Pandas, Plotly, G-Unicorn, dash Bootstrap components, and that's about it. Optionally, you can also have a runtime.txt, and this is useful if there are different versions of Python that you're not sure if your code is going to run on. So you might want to specify the version of Python that you need your code to run on. Now, you want to make sure you have some modifications to your code. You can set the container to be fluid, to make sure that it's responsive. You can see it on your small screen, tablet, mobile device, or desktop. And very important, you want to include this line of code that says server equal to app.server. And also equally important, you want your debug to be false, because you're in a production environment. You don't need to be debugging showing out any errors to your users or visitors. Now, next up, third is setting up your command line interface, Heroku CLI that is. So you can log in from the command line. Just type in Heroku login, add a -I for interactive login from the console, so you don't have to go to the web to log in. Also, you can create an app. It's encouraging, or it's recommended, to have an app name. Otherwise, Heroku is going to generate an automatic app name for you, which might not be very good. And once that is done, again, assuming you haven't initialized your Git yet, you can initialize it, add all your files in there, and save it or commit it. Once that's good to go, deployment, push it out, and in a few minutes, your deployment should be good to go. If you have a few errors, then you have to troubleshoot that. That should be just fine. To get that Heroku app, to view it, you just go to the URL which you use for your name of your app, and it's a subdomain, so herokuapp.com should be the main top level domain. With that, you're good to go. But Heroku, the catch is you need to have a credit card tied in there, even though they're not going to charge you on the free tier. So if you don't need to use your credit card or tie it into anything, you can use Render, and we're going to look at how it looks like on Render. Once again, it's highly recommended that you change the name of your file. Right now we have 05 interactive-.8.python.py. I recommend you use app.py because that's the, should I say, the standard, and you don't want to have any issues with file naming conventions or any conflicts down the road. Alright, so with Render, very similar to what we did with Heroku. Render deployment, you need that free tier which is available for you. Just need an email address and save your code in a repository online. You could have GitHub, GitLab or Bitbucket. Any of those should work just fine. And the same way we got our requirements file or the prop file, you should be good to go. And yeah, that's about it. Once that is in there, you go onto the web server or the web browser, enter in all the necessary information. From your render dashboard, you should be able to add a new web service. If you have another, you just use the plus sign, select your repository, point it to the correct directory or subdirectory, and you should be good. Enter the values for your name, make it unique, clean as well. Set up your branch, probably the main branch should be the working branch on your machine, as well as the build command. The build command should point to the requirements file to make sure that all those libraries are downloaded ahead of time. And your start command can be typed directly or you can point it to the proc file. And that's about it. Once that goes through, you watch the deployment is set up, the DevOps pipeline is one, you get the build service is done. And then after building, you get deployment and you should be live. Once it's live, you should be able to access the web to see your particular dashboard. In this case, Doge dashboard would be on render.com, and that's about it. So navigate. Remember, this is a free tier, so it might be some lapses, it might be delayed. If you want it to work a lot faster, then I'll encourage you to upgrade to a paid or higher tier, and it should be just good. So remember, to deploy, you need that app file, your requirements file one time, your CSV file should be in there, otherwise you have to go back to video one and create that file from the API. Now, take a second and think about what we have accomplished so far. We've extracted raw government data like a pro. We cleaned and analyzed millions of dollars in contracts. We also automated the reports that can be emailed by themselves. And now we've deployed a live dashboard that even the Pentagon would love to have. This isn't just a tutorial series, it's a masterclass in real-world data science. You didn't just learn Python, you weaponized it. So, I encourage you to smash that like button. It helps others find this series, and subscribe for more data science deep dives. Make sure you tag a friend, comment below, and I'll catch you on our next project. Enjoy. Guess what? This is Vitus DK, and you already know.